So I have the privilege of performing around Jacksonville, Florida at a lot of different hospitals, and I do that through a program called Body and Soul. So we sat down with the founder of Body and Soul, James Jenkins, and we asked him some questions about it. So I hope you enjoy this.
Once I get a car that don't stall in the morning, I can make it anywhere I want, just wait. But I can.
So I'm here with James Jenkins. James, tell us about yourself. Tell us who you are.
Let's see, I'm a musician, professional musician with the Jacksonville Symphony. I'm a tubist. I also teach at the University of North Florida and have been a professor, music professor for about 35 years. And I run a nonprofit organization here in town.
Maybe that's when life starts getting good. Oh, getting cool.
Okay. And tell us about your nonprofit organization.
Okay, it's called Body and Soul, the Art of Healing. And the primary purpose of the organization is to form a collaboration between the arts and the artists here in town and the healthcare community. So it's those of us who make a living in the arts, just kind of giving back to the community, but we do it through the healthcare environment. Through the one resource that we have a lot of, which is our talent. That's the idea.
Maybe that's when life starts getting good.
How did you come up with Body and Soul? Where did this start?
So to tell you the truth, it was based on personal experience. So my father, who was a minister, spent the last, 7 or 8 years of his life in hospitals, all complications from diabetes. And so one time he was hospitalized here in Jacksonville, and I went to visit him. He asked me to bring my horn to play for him. Play my horn in a hospital, but with my dad, if he asked, he wasn't really asking. It wasn't a request. It was more of a demand.
Yeah.
So I did. I brought my instrument in just to play for him, and I noticed the major change that it had on everyone that could hear me. And so it gave me the idea, wow, this is a way maybe that I can give back and offer to some of my friends a way to give back. Then I started to study, okay, what is out there, what do other organizations and hospitals do, and came up with the idea of what if we pool the resources of the arts community, musicians, artists, what have you, and we're able to offer something to any healthcare facility that wants us, and we can tailor a program for it. So that's what gave me the idea. My dad insisting, but asking that I come and play for him.
About what hasn't happened yet, but will someday.
Tell you, I'll share 3, maybe 4 very quick stories. So my very first week, we were at St. Catherine's. It's a violinist. We have the escort, and I'm there because, it's brand new, and I'm like, with my administrative hat on, and I don't want people in the room too long and all of that kind of stuff. Anyway, they go into this room, and they're in there longer than they're supposed to be. They're in there for 10 minutes or something. And I was like, man, you can't be in there but 5 minutes or whatever. So after 12 minutes, I look in the room, and everybody in there is crying, like the violinist, the escort, this older man, and these 2 women. Everybody's crying. They say in there another 5 minutes. So they're in there maybe 20 minutes in one room. And they finally come out, and I tell the violinist, it's like, whatever you played in there, like, don't play that again, you know.
Yeah. Everyone's crying.
Yeah, that's it. It was like, we just started. And it's like, don't do that again, you know. But then what I learned it right then, is the person in the room was this gentleman who had been at St. Catherine's for 6 years, but he hadn't taught in 7 years, hadn't said a word, right? And it was something, so nobody at St. Catherine ever heard him say anything, but it was something about something that she played that made him want to say thank you. And then all of a sudden, he's talking for the first time, and it happened to be the day that his wife and daughter were visiting, right? I was like, you gotta be kidding me. But that happened. It was our first week. I brought in the St. John's River City Band. They did a concert in their auditorium. Then we're going to do room service. And I thought it was a disaster. I thought it was an absolute disaster because they're singing and playing in the rooms, and nurses are dancing in the hall, and people are walking around with their little bottle, you know, their IV bottles and stuff. And so I'm thinking, oh, this is awful because we're making all this ruckus. Yeah, I thought, yeah, that's what I thought. It's like I was our first day, and I'm thinking it was a good idea while it lasted, but this doesn't work. Okay, we're going through all of this, and I literally am lamenting the whole thing, and I'm like trying to get them to keep it down, but they're not paying attention to me at all. Maybe about 4 rooms down from where I'm standing, you know, we move around, standing, you know, I see all of this flurry of activity, all these nurses go into this room, this one room, going in and out. Finally, somebody comes over to me and tells me that there was this woman in the room that had been unresponsive for like 3 days. She'd been in a coma for 3 days. Someone had brought her in, so they didn't know her name, and they were waiting for her to die so that they could toe tag her as a Jane Doe. But she woke up because she said she heard music, and so they were asking would we go and play for her. You're kidding me. This is about 8 years ago, thereabout. I get a call, you know, are you the tuba player with the symphony? Yes. You know, could you come and play for my mom? Yeah, who's asking? Yeah. Could you come and play for my mom? She's ill and she likes the tuba. And so I think they're calling me about Body and Soul. I said, yeah, sure, I'll be happy to help. And so I call and I say, hey, look, I'm going to be out there Thursday. I can come and play for your mom, and then if you would like. She's not doing too well, but yeah, you might as well. Okay, so I do my symphony gig. I show up at this townhouse, nice townhouse, with my suit and my tuba on the back, and the room is full of people, and they're really, really kind of down. And me showing up, I obviously was not welcome. You know what I mean? I don't know what's going on. Oh, hey, Mr. Jenkins? Yeah, great. Well, there's Mom. So there's this woman, she's asleep on this bed, but it's in the middle of the living room. You know, okay, and everybody's looking at, so I unpack. Go ahead and I play a little bit. I saw her playing Summertime, right, real soft. And then she gets up and she's like, oh, and then everybody goes crazy, you know, oh, Mom, and they're hugging and, you know, and Mom, Joey's here. No, Joey from California. And then the grandbabies, and she's kissing everybody. And seriously, you know, I play a little bit. Oh, this is James from the symphony, you know. Mom, tell her, James, why you like the tuba. Well, she was a clarinet player when she was in high school. She had a crush on the tuba player. So from that moment on, so she's telling all of this stuff. We're laughing, all of us. I played 2 or 3 things, you know. She asked, you know, can you play this? And you play, and everybody's so happy, it's so incredible, right? Then eventually she says, you know, thank you for coming. I'm a little tired. Thank you so much for coming. Okay, great. I liked her. She was cool, you know. It's a 100% celebration. Okay, so I pack up my instrument, get in the car. I'm in Ponte Vedra. Before I get back to Mandarin, I get a phone call. She makes a transition. Yeah. But it turns out she had been in a coma for 6 days, right? Wow. All of those people there were her family. Like the doctors are saying, you know how they call you and they gather around because she's not going to be here that long? Yeah. That's what that was. I had no idea. And me playing, she woke up and visited with everybody right before.
And do you remember how I got involved with Body and Soul?
Yes, I do remember how you got involved. I learned about you as a young artist from a couple of different sources, but including one of your family members. But then I checked you out a little bit. So you were fairly recent graduate, so I did check you out. Then I met you. And
you said a couple of people. I know that you met my dad at a Christmas party.
Family.
I didn't know that anyone else had mentioned it, or...
It was during the time that I did a little research on you, because you were involved with things with the youth symphony, and there were people that knew you. And so I started asking, like, do you know this person? This is before I met you.
Okay.
Yeah, because, I mean, you know, I heard wonderful things about you from your dad, but it's your dad.
Yes.
you know.
And you know what a liar he is.
You know, and so before I made your acquaintance, I wanted to, I wanted to get some other professionals' feedback on you as a person, as an artist, that kind of thing.
I hope you didn't talk to anyone who gave me private lessons at one point, because they probably said that I made too many jokes.
Oh no! Everything that I learned was positive. And so then we met, and then when I met you, it's like, I was really, really compelled. You were really compelling to me in our first meeting. Then I heard you perform, and it's like, wow, yeah, she's a real deal. That was my thought. So that's how. So we invited you to be a part of it to see if it was a fit for you. Because I thought, she would definitely be a fit for us.
Anyway, I really love being part of this. I think it's really cool, and I think that what we do is really important.
I don't feel like it should. I'm thinking once I learn to grow right where I'm planted, maybe that's when life starts getting